What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Another Disney Podcast. I was gone for a week, so I have zero idea what number show this is. I don't even know what day it is. All I know is it seems like it's been a really long time since I talked to any of you, so I'm super happy to be back. I had a great time at the park last week. I really enjoyed Dave and Rob going over those attractions that they would love to bring back. But hey, I'm back this week, and man, good thing I brought my debit card to the park last week because, boy, have prices gone up. Let's talk about it.
This is another Disney podcast production.
Hey, Brandon, welcome back. Thank you for
Thanks,
not leaving the show.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody who takes a break, they never come back.
I thought about it, but I figured, it would be hard to get Rob to come every week, so I figured I would come back this week.
No offense, Ryan and Matthew, but thanks for leaving. It's great. If that makes no sense to you, I highly recommend you go back and listen to some other shows.
Yeah, start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. Speaking of the beginning, Dave, did you know this week is a giant anniversary?
No.
Not only. Well, it is actually only. It's really only the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of my first show with another Disney podcast.
I should have known that.
Yeah. I came on episode number 9, I think it was. It was this time last year.
Wow. I feel like you came on. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. I mean, I guess you decided you didn't like Matthew and Ryan pretty quick, and you just gave them the boot.
That's right.
Yeah, but 1-year anniversary.
Let me see if I can find the right music for me forgetting or not knowing that. Yep, nailed it.
Hit the right button. I like it.
So,
I like it.
Party. I'm throwing
Party.
confetti right now.
Super happy to be back.
Yes. Dude,
Yes.
You stayed a year. That's more than most marriages.
That's true. Today in the world, that is 100% true.
That was not very kind. Okay. So, yeah, Rob and I, we had a good time. Actually, this is going to sound weird, but I don't know. It's too late. I'm going with it. Something was birthed out of that show of us getting together.
Wow.
I've been talking a lot about doing something with Rob, and we come up with a plan. It's not all concrete solidified yet, but we're going to be doing something on the semi-regular with Rob. And it may be live on YouTube. We'll have to see. I mean, we may do it on his channel because he's got way more followers than we do, and people are invested. But there's a fun thing we might do together. But speaking of anniversaries, I know this isn't as great as yours, but I think within the past couple of weeks we've reached the 4-year anniversary of the construction of the Tron coaster. I think.
Yes.
I think that has come and gone.
Yeah, they finally started putting the canopy on.
Yeah.
It's like there's life at Tron.
Yes.
So we drove by it the other day on the way back from the park, and I was like, wow, it actually looks like a ride. It looks like it could possibly try to open this year.
Maybe. I'm not betting on anything.
Me either.
I also
It'll
have
be open by the end of the 50th.
I also have other interesting news. So today, the day that we're recording this, I did not wear my watch today, which is the first time I think I've ever forgotten it. It is March 2nd on the day of recording. My pass officially after the 30 days expires in 2 days. I don't think I'm going to renew. I don't think I'm going to renew. I don't know why.
It was fun seeing you.
So, and now, guys, we have another announcement. Brandon's leaving the show. This is
I only agreed to do this if you actually could come and visit Walt Disney World.
This is a pass holder only show. Well, here's my concern. I think I'm waiting to. Okay, I'll just let the cat out of the bag. And people are going to say, like, that's so stupid. But hear me out. Yes, I know if I renew, I can save 15%. And I also know that right now they're not even honoring, like, if you want to just get a pass, you can. Something tells me that by summertime that will have changed. I could be wrong and I could pay the price dearly, but I'm going to take the chance. And here's why. Yes, I'm going to get a pass again, but we went, like you guys know, day one of the 50th. We actually went day -3, day -2,
Yes.
day -1, and the 50th, and a couple more days. And so I'm waiting to go until everything else is open. And then so when I go, I'll just get the pass again. I know I'm eating 15%, but I'm not there's the earliest opportunity that I'll go is July. And so if I renew now, I'm burning 4 months.
Yeah.
And so
Makes
like,
sense.
I mean, I'm like, do I just to save 15%, but burn 4 months? I'm not that great at math, but I don't think that adds up in my favor if I renew just to save 15%.
That definitely does not. And let me tell you this, if I didn't live here, I might also be in the same thought process as you, because I mean, the parks right now are super crowded. They are, when we went last week while you guys did the show,
right.
It might as well have been Christmas or New Year's. There were so many people at Magic Kingdom that it wasn't enjoyable to actually go. We watched the fireworks. Yes, we met some friends, but it wasn't actually enjoyable. You had to like bump into people to walk through the hub, and it just wasn't enjoyable. So if I didn't already renew mine in August, I probably would be in the same boat. Yeah.
So I think if we're teasing the idea of last year, we went to Margaritaville, and then I took one kid each kid one day. So like we could have a dad day, mom day with just separate kids. But I don't even know if we're doing that because we haven't even looked at it yet, and it's March. So the odds of there
last
like,
time you didn't book it until like a week before.
I know,
right?
but that was like COVID times. Now I think everybody's like, we're traveling. And I bet you like, if you haven't booked yet, I wonder if gulp, you've missed the opportunity. Anyway, we've gone way off the deep end with like our crazy personal stories.
We've gone way off the deep end.
Typically we talk a lot before we ever hit the record button, but we hit the record button pretty quick tonight. So sorry, we were catching up on life after not talking to each other for like 12 days. Anyway, okay, yeah. So you mentioned you were glad you brought your debit card, and I know that's because a couple weeks ago we gave you 7 ways that that you can park at the People Mover, save money at Walt Disney World. That was me, And so now we're going to talk about just plain and simple. Everything costs more. In fact, that's our title of this week's episode. Everything just costs more. And so we went through and talked about some things, and we'll give you some specifics. Of course, all of that's irrelevant as prices change every year. But Brandon kind of put together the list. Like we just kind of threw a whole bunch of ideas in the notes, and Brandon kind of made sense of it and hopefully put it in somewhat of a strategic order.
Yes.
So let's jump in. We're going to talk about like, you know, and this is not to be like a bummer or a bark on Disney. Like I get it. Like gas is now $3.60 a gallon. Like there's a war going on in the world, and things are just changing globally, and that's going to affect everything. Like if it costs more in gas, well, then it costs more to get the stuff that Disney cooks to Disney. Right. So that stuff. So everything is just an accordion effect of what's happening, you know, globally. But obviously it's affecting us way differently than the people of Ukraine. I'm not complaining at all. If we have to pay, you know, 20 more bucks a fill up to be able to still drive to work every day, it's considerably less cost than what people are having to deal with every day in this senseless and useless invasion. That's my only politics. I'm done. But yeah, it's going to affect everything, and it's going to affect more than just theme parks and Disney that we love. It's going to affect food prices, which we know have already gone up because of inflation. So Disney is not immune from that. And Disney is also in the business of making money. So
making money.
Yeah, let's jump in. I'll kick off since
let's jump in. So
I'm not going to be in the club anymore. So I feel like I'm in the club for 2 more days. So I'll go ahead and talk about it. So, and that's just simply the annual price tickets, annual pass, and daily ticket prices have increased. Now, I say this one with a grain of salt because if you follow Disney as closely as us nerds do, this is not a new thing at all. Every February, the prices go up. I looked at this and I was like, I don't think it went up any more than previous years. It's just they always increase the prices in February. So this one wasn't a surprise. It just happened to coincide with the way inflation is going crazy. So yeah, your daily park tickets, which I think it went up. I think it's now 109 to 139 or 109 to 159. I think it was 139.
I think it's 139 or 140,
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, I mean, we're used to ticket jumping. We're used to price going up. We're used to passes going up. But it just seems like this time, with all the craziness going in the world, maybe you thought that Disney was going to give you that little break and just say, you know what?
Negative.
We got a lot of people coming to the park. We are full every day. Magic Kingdom's been sold out, I think, for 19 days straight, reservation wise. You thought maybe Disney would say, hey, we'll cut you guys a break. We're not going to raise the ticket prices $6 or whatever they did for the, the off-peak day. But of course they did, because everything goes up.
And that is, I'm glad you talked about the off peak and peak, because Disney did a couple of years ago. It used to be forever and a day, whatever the price was, that was the price, and it was good any day of the year. Now they've adopted which most hotels do, which most airlines do, which most other theme parks do. They base it on the time of year, but really it's the crowd expectancy level. Like, they're going to charge it based on where, hey, more people are interested right now, so let's charge more money, where less people are interested, and so let's not charge money or charge less money. But anyway, so it's no longer cool, because I did like those days, right? You would, we used to we would go on a trip and where we wouldn't use all the kids' day, but like we would have like a day left over, and we'd come back 3 or 4 months later, as it was still good. Those days are gone. Typically, it's anywhere from 10 to 14 days is as long as it lasts once you cross the gate, I think. Yep.
Once you do that, if you buy a 5-day ticket, you only use 4 and you're not coming back for a year, well, you've wasted that 5th day ticket. So it's definitely changed. They're definitely trying to force people to use what they buy. But yeah, nothing is immune to price jumps and tickets. That's just to get you in the park. So I'm surprised they haven't. One thing that surprised me, speaking of getting in the park, was that they didn't raise parking prices.
Yeah, that was
actually
shocking.
Surprised me. Those actually stayed the same, $25 for regular parking, $50 for premium, which is, to me, like, it's ridiculous. Premium parking at 3 of the 4 parks, if you're paying $50 for that, then I mean, you're just lazy. But Magic Kingdom, depending on where you park, that could be worth it. But I'm super surprised they did not raise parking prices.
Yeah. The 13,000 steps that you're taking that day in Animal Kingdom, when you go back to the parking lot, you're literally saving about 400 steps. So the money's not really worth it. Okay, Brandon, I want you to talk about the next one, because this is a big one, because this one literally was free since the beginning of time, and now it's not at all.
And absolutely. And it's kind of going back to that, how we always used to get to the park, right? When you landed at MCO, you went down, you didn't even have to see your luggage. You walked to the Magical Express and got on the bus, and they took you to your hotel resort. Gone are the days of the free Magical Express. So this is definitely a price increase, because it went from 0 to now $32 each round trip for an adult, and maybe $25 round trip for a child. So this is now becomes an added expense that was not there before, that families are going to have to plan for now. Before, you could just get on the bus, go to your place, didn't have to worry about, should we rent a car? Should we take a taxi? Should we get an Uber? Now you have to weigh all of these things to see, hey, if we got 10 people going to Disney World, we all land at the same time, that's going to cost us $300 to get to our hotel. Could we rent a car? Could we get 2 Ubers and it'd be less than that both ways? So that's one of the biggest things, and that's one of the things that people are still complaining about, is that we've lost that free service for the Magical Express. Still run by the same company, probably the same drivers, probably the same buses, just wrapped differently. It's just now a paid service. So price increase from 0 to $32 is somewhere around 3,000%, I think.
Yes. Or we could make it 1,000,000%. I think we get to figure out the number that we want.
Can just name whatever ridiculous number possible, but that's what it's increased to. So
yeah, that's a tough one. Now, I will say this. If you don't stay on property every time you come, that's kind of an irrelevant thing. But I will say that I mean, I haven't looked lately because I'm not planning a trip, but and especially during COVID, the car rental prices went through the roof. So,
Yes.
but typically, regardless, that's still cheaper than a rental car by far. And it may be a million times percent cheaper than
Yeah,
a car,
it
even
definitely
paying.
is. It's just you have to weigh it and look and see
Yeah.
what kind of time it is, because you may go to 6, 7 different resort hotels before you get to your hotel.
Yep.
So if you are fine, you get here a day early and your arrival day is a day you're not really doing anything, I think it's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
It's $30. You jump on a bus, they stop at a couple hotels and get you to your spot.
Yeah.
But if you are here for a short amount of time, it may be worth it to jump in an Uber or get a car.
I mean, it is worth talking about. So it's $32 round trip. So that's, that gets you there. And then at the end of your vacation, it gets you back. But, like big things that are gone away too. Gone are it's been this way a while because of COVID, but gone are don't worry about grabbing your suitcases. We'll get them and they'll just magically show up in your room. Does not come back with this paid service. The other thing is, like I know that Brandon talked before we started about big parties, but I will say that even for a family of 4, I mean, that's $100 gone just getting to and from your hotel at your trip. Like there's zero fun involved in that. It's literally like we have to get to the airport to fly home and we have to get to our hotel when we arrive. I don't know why I did that backwards, but so right off the bat, $100 more. I mean, it's really $98, but it's close enough. And then if you have like these big parties, like Brandon was saying, that's a lot. Everything just costs more. Isn't that what I said? I'm just going to leave it at that.
Everything costs more.
Okay. So let's talk about this. The next one that we want to go through is food. Now we're not going to break down like food because everything, like as a whole, it has been a small increment increase. Like 30 cents here and there, right? This meal was this, and now it's 30 cents more. So it's not like insane. And luckily, that's just because there's so many people that go to the parks. It's not $1 a meal. Like it's just a little bit because they just sell so much food. But yeah, I mean, just the simple fact of food going up roughly. And I'm just talking quick service meals, roughly 30-ish cents, right? So something that used to be $14.99 is now like $15.29. So it's not big, but I mean it's worth it. Like party of 4, 3 meals a day. I mean that's a drink. Like you've now paid for an extra drink that you're not getting. So I know it's kind of tedious, and I don't want to I'd rather break it down. We're going to talk a little bit more about some individual snacks and some individual non-alcoholic beverages. But yeah, I mean food as a whole has gone up, and it's kind of what I said at the beginning of our show, right? It's probably based on, hey, we're going to make some more money, but it's also the inflation piece, and like they're having to probably pay more to get it there because gas is the highest it's been maybe ever. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch, but it's probably going to still continue to climb as we're only a week into this crazy thing that's going on globally, and I imagine barrels of oil are just going to continue to soar. So yeah, I mean, we just have to help cover some of the costs that Disney is incurring. That's just basically what it boils
100%.
down to.
100%.
So, yeah.
And I know you said we were going to jump into this a little bit, but we were talking before the show, just something as simple as a fountain drink at Walt Disney World. It doesn't seem like a huge thing. It doesn't seem, if you go there now and you're like, oh, 6 months ago, this cost 30 cents more or 30 cents less, that doesn't seem huge. But what did you say about when we first used to go to Disney? Like
I remember I was like, gosh, like to get a fountain drink, it's $3. And that wasn't for the giant one. It was just for the regular, 16-ounce cup was $3. And now it's what, $4.29?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
It might almost be $5 when you throw tax in there. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's, and Krista and I have this argument every time we go to a park and we go to a quick service restaurant and sit down, and she's like, don't get a drink. Like if we both get drinks, that adds $10 to our meal. And
sorry.
So one of us has to sacrifice and get the water cup,
there you go.
Just so, so it's not $10 more. But yeah, just small things like that. Just think if you had a family of 4 and you're there for 7 days and you eat 2 meals a day and all 4 people get fountain drinks. I mean, that's 4 times 2, that's 8 times 5, that's 40 times, that's $300 in drinks.
Golly, I'm just more impressed that you did the math.
Because pretty impressive.
When you carried the 4, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, you're looking at $280, $300 in fountain drinks.
And that's not even alcohol. Like we're not even going to get into that.
That's soda. And then a lot of the places have gone away from refilling your own cup, right? Mm-hmm. So there's only a couple places on property where you can still walk back up and put more drink in your cup.
You know what, man?
You're paying $5 and you're going to have 1 drink.
Yep. I may have said this before. We need to do a show where we're talking about like strategery, as President Bush liked to say. Like we need to have a show where we're talking about like secret tips or pro tips. Like, for example, I almost always try to eat at a place, like you said, that has the thing where you can go and refill your cup, right?
Yeah.
We need to have a show that talks about like all those different little fun tips. Like, hey, if you eat at the Galactic, I don't know if it's Galactic, but what's the one at Hollywood Studios that's close to where they have the lightsaber experience for the little kiddos? Backstage cafe?
Backlot?
Yeah.
The Backlot?
Yes.
Backlot Express?
Yes. Like that's one of the places and then of course so is ABC Commissary, but like not all of the places where you go in and quick service like have that. Like Cosmic Rays and Magic Kingdom does not. There's no you can't refill. So we need to do a sorry, that felt like a squirrel moment.
Squirrel. Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's mark that one down.
Yes. Okay. Meal.
Yes.
Yeah. Meals have shrunk, but prices have stayed the same. So does that a price increase? I feel like it.
I mean, I feel like it in an underhanded way is right. Like you're paying the same thing, but you're getting less. Everywhere else in the world, that would be seen as a price increase. At Disney, they're just making the portions what they should be. But they're really taking away stuff and charging you the same, which is kind of a theme as we've gone from COVID to normal life. Right. It's kind of a theme, take away stuff and charge people the same for it. Yes. So, on that one, definitely. And I've noticed it, people are posting pictures. We were at the park and somebody ordered chicken tenders and there were like 4 little chicken nuggets that look pathetic and it was like $14.
It's almost like the kid meal size.
It's almost like the kids meal, but they charge you for the adult meal. So to me, that is a price increase because I got to buy 2 of them now. So I've spent $28 instead of $14.
Yeah. But now I know you don't eat at the park as much. I know when we do like our full like vacation experiences, you guys will eat at the parks, obviously, but I know you guys typically come in and you'll get a snack and stuff, which I guess we should just roll right into. But when it comes to the snack stuff, right, like or the meal stuff, like that's kind of unfortunate, right? Like it's like, dang, we're getting less food, but we didn't raise the price. But it's almost like I'd rather the meal be 60 cents more to get all that I was getting. Although I will say this, I am typically the guy that's like I we eat so much fun food while we're at Disney. My meal, I'd almost rather get a kid's meal. Like just like, okay, let me sit down and get like the kids meal, save like $6 or $8, and then I'm gonna go get a $14 Mickey pretzel. But so I guess it all evens out in the end. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I agree. And another thing that goes right along with meals, it seems like meals are the thing that they focused on the most in order to maximize their profit. Some of the restaurants have pivoted away from quick service and moved into table service. The number one example of that would be Our Guest. There used to be an amazing quick service lunch at Be Our Guest. You could get an awesome prime rib sandwich. You could get, the croque de monsieur. You could get some soup and some salads and pork, I think. But now it's all a $65 price fix menu. So before you could get a quick service meal there for $20. And now if you want to go to Be Our Guest, your minimum you can spend is $65.
Right.
So you've automatically got a $40 price increase if you want to enjoy Be Our Guest.
Yeah.
So a couple of restaurants have done that on property, but Be Our Guest is kind of the most
Yeah.
notable example of that.
And you and Krista found out the hard way the first time, didn't you?
We did. Right when the park opened back up, we were excited. We're like, it's COVID time. Like, there's no wait to get in there. Like, we just walked up and we were like, hey, can we go eat lunch? And they're like, sure, go in. So we go in, we sit down, and they put the little scan menu, and we scan it, and it just keeps saying dinner, dinner, dinner. And we're like, where's the lunch menu? So the server comes over, and we're like, do you guys have the lunch? And she's like, no, it switched to a price fix $65. And then we all kind of sat silently for about 5 seconds, and she just looks at us and goes, you want to leave, don't you? And we were like, yeah, sorry. And she goes, don't worry, it's not the first time today. So they switched it. They didn't do a super job of communicating the fact that it had only become price fix. It's fixed now. I mean, when you book it, it says that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bummer to find out because that was one of our favorite lunches in the park.
Yeah.
You got inside in a cool atmosphere with good food.
Yep.
For a relatively cheap price. I mean, I think that if you could get the sandwich and a drink and it costs less than $20. And so, I mean, it was a good thing.
And it felt like
no
table
more.
service because they bring it to you. Now, if you don't use the
wheeled it
app
to
or
you
do it
magically.
beforehand, you have to get in line and order it. But still, even if you do that, you go sit down and they bring it to you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I don't know if I'd call it a hidden gem because I know some people love it, but yeah, I would say, now I know the dinner menu is amazing, but like when you go in there expecting, oh, let's go, we can get in, like you basically could have got in and out of there with a dessert for less than one person for the fixed meal.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, I wasn't planning on dropping $140 for lunch.
Exactly.
So, we out.
We out. Peace.
Okay, so let's hit on another big one. So this one is for me, the jury's still out on this one. I don't know. I mean, this isn't new news, but hey, Fast Pass is gone, and it came back as Genie Plus. So now we're talking about another one of those 1,000,000% price increases. So Fast Pass was free. If you were staying on property, you could book 60 days out. If you were not, you could book 30 days out. And then you would pick all of your Fast Passes, and it was a free of charge service where you could kind of semi-plan your morning or your day or when you want to strategically ride what rides at a park. And now that is a paid service. So, so that's a huge thing that, it's still fairly new. Like when we went day one of the 50th, it was not in existence yet. So I've yet to experience it. I know you've done it a little bit, but if you go there, especially with the way the crowds are right now, I would whatever ride, whatever park that you love the most, if you want to experience it to the fullest, I would recommend it. Skip lunch at Be Our Guest and use the money
That's right.
to do it.
That's right. You could buy Genie Plus for one day for like 8 people for what it would cost to go to Be Our Guest for 2. But yeah, definitely a price increase from free to $15 a person is a pretty significant increase. The jury's still out on it. There's a lot of complaining, should I say, on the socials, if you will, with being able to get rides, because obviously if you don't quick overview, if you don't know how Genie Plus works, if you stay on property, you can get at 7:00, you can wake up, log in, pick your first experience, and then you can choose throughout the day. But if you're not staying on property, you cannot start your Genie Plus experience until the park opens. So whether that's 8:00, 9:00, whatever time, you cannot pick until that happens. So the main complaint is by the time, especially now when all the parks are packed, by the time off-site guests can Select, there's nothing left because the hotels are full. All of those people have been picking since 7, and so you get a Slinky Dog at 6:45 p.m. So that's kind of the main complaint about it, and I think it's just, if you do it right, it works. I've had plenty of friends who have been here and they've ridden everything. Right. It's just, you have to plan it right. So my advice for that would be, do it. If you're coming and it's your only time going to be here, stay on property, because we've talked about that in a show before. If you've never been to Disney before, experience the bubble, stay on property, and then get Genie Plus and do it, because you will be able to take advantage of it.
No, I think it's important. Go ahead.
It costs $15.
Yeah. I think it's that we kind of both mentioned it, but I think it's really important to dig deep on that. I mentioned, again, remember, FastPass, 60 days out if you're staying on property, 30 days out if you're not. Like Brandon mentioned, it's morning of every day. Morning of every day of your trip. So you have to start off your morning with that. It doesn't feel like, I guess my point is, I haven't done it yet, but that doesn't feel very vacation-like, right? You have to wake up and, oh gosh, how are we going to get this? And like Brandon said, if you're staying off property, basically the first 3/4 of your day is, well, we'll just kind of go along with the flow and figure it out, which some things can be a bonus. Like I'm a big fan of just going and doing Disney without having to overplan it. But when it comes to attractions and stuff, with the crowds that we've had as of late and the line lengths, like it's nice to know that, like, okay, we've at least got this ride coming up and this ride coming up, right? Where now it's like you said, you might you're going to get on Slinky Dog Dash, but like it might be 6:45 at night and you're there at 9:00 in the morning. And so that's something, again, like it's paid, and I don't think that the process is as great as it used to be. I haven't experienced it, so I'm speaking out of selfishness. I don't know if that's a right phrase, but anyway, it sucks. Like to me, I'm like, that would suck. I remembered like the day that we would wake up and go to Hollywood Studios, that we had to get up at 6 a.m. and and then try to get on Rise. Right. So that was a benefit and an improvement from where you had to be physically in the park and people were lining up at 5:00 in the morning to get in. Now, at least that went better. Right. Well, it's just basically the same thing as trying to get Rise. Right. You have to get up, and again, I know some people are right. I know some people are early risers, but for me, I'm like, I'm on vacation. If we get to the park at 10, great. That's an early start for us.
Yeah. And that's that's the main complaint about it, is that it takes away your relaxation. Right. I mean, we've talked about a Disney vacation is not relaxing. So if your relaxation for your Disney trip is sleeping until 9:00 instead of waking up at 7, this is not going to work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right,
so that's a good one.
Let's head to snacks and non-alcoholic beverages. Let's jump in there.
Snacks. Yeah, let's head to snacks. And one of the biggest price jumps, and again, this is relative, and we always talk. We've talked about 30 cents, 50 cents, but one of the biggest snack price jumps is one of my favorite snacks. I had one the other night. The Dole Whip.
Yeah,
the Dole Whip went up $1 per Dole Whip. $1. And that's when you're talking food costs. That's like increasing a car price $5,000. Right. If everything else, Mickey bars and pretzels and all, they're going up 20, 30 cents, and you increase Dole Whip by $1. I don't know if pineapples are hard to get, from Hawaii or what's going on, but Dole Whip's going up $1, and that's a pretty significant price hike. Yeah. Again, if you have your family of 4, 6 people, that's $6 extra.
Yeah. And if you have to have one.
So that's one of the main snacks that's gone up pretty substantially.
Yeah. And then I was talking about drinks before, right? They were like $3. Now they're $4.69. Well, a few weeks ago, they were $4.19. So there was a 50 cent increase just in, like, you want a Coke? Cool. It's now 50 cents more than it was in December. And so, that all adds up, and so get your water, which is free. Get it, I know we're weird, I guess, but like you and I both love soda water. And the places that they charge you for soda water?
It depends on the place and it depends on the server.
Gotcha.
Like at the Foofy, as you call it, the Grand Floridian Cafe, it costs the same as a soda to have a soda water there. But if a lot of places won't charge you for it.
Yeah. So it's like we would expect. It's different everywhere you go.
Yep.
Zero
for sure.
consistency. So we'll keep it confusing. Okay. This one's pretty interesting. I have for years, and I mean for years, tease. I've come with my whole family. I've come with one kid. I've gone by myself for like Disney photo trips. And every time I go, I'm like, I'm going to do a tour. I'm going to do a tour. And like, I know a fan favorite for sure is the Keys to the Kingdom tour. Well, all of those tours have gone up. And like, for example, the Keys of the Kingdom tour used to be $99 for the half day version. I think it used to be basically, it's like you would get there 9ish, 10ish, and you would check in and you would go into and it would include a lunch, but there is like a full day one that you may even include a ride or multiple rides. Anyway, it could have all changed since the last time I looked, but yeah, that's now gone. They've gone up $15, 15. So $15 just for some tours. Yeah. Again, party of 4, right? I mean, that's $60. I mean, I know it's all, I guess I kind of feel like we're penny pinching here. Like, I get it. Some people will come to Disney and they spend 20 grand on their vacation. Cool. Brandon and I are not those people.
We are not those people at all. Yeah.
So,
it looks like they just have it's one option now. There's no all day. So you can go at 8, you can go at 8:30, you can go at 9:30. It's a 5-hour tour and it's $115 a person.
Does it still include lunch?
Match to the Max, Experience an Urban Legend, and a lunch.
Okay, perfect. And the benefit about that tour is you get to go through the utilidors. So that's a cool bonus to see the underbelly.
That is a cool bonus. Although people have gone on it and been like, I was super excited about that. And then we got down there and we're like, it's just a concrete tunnel.
Yeah. Well,
super.
I kind of knew that, but it's just kind of like, how cool is this? We're underneath the Magic Kingdom.
The underground of the Magic Kingdom.
The underbelly.
The underbelly of the kingdom.
Okay, we're jumping right along. Where should we go to
moving
next?
right along. We're moving right along nicely here. So if you are in the park, and we talked about this a couple shows ago when we talked about don't buy it. But if you have to buy it, merchandise has gone up. Merchandise has gone through the roof for everything. Anything from Mickey ears to apparel, headwear, even the little bubble glow wands have gone up at least $1 from what they were. Dave was telling a story on one of the other podcasts that we did, or when we were talking to Rob about the fantastical soap dispenser that you get that came out for the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
The little soap dispenser that puts a Mickey shaped soap on your hand. And when we first got them, Dave, how much did they cost?
Yeah, so your bride got these for me, like, because a lot of the first big batch of release of the merch happened multiple weeks before the 50th, before October 1 of 2021. Yeah. And so I was like, everything's going to sell out. Buy me this, give me this, give me this. I'll get it when I get there. And so I had you guys buy me this, and it was $9.99. The soap dispenser was $9.99. On October 1, when we were in there, I was like, oh, they got the soap dispensers. And Krista was holding them. And then on the bottom was the price. And she flipped it over. She was like, oh my gosh, turn it over. And we turned it over. And there was a sticker that was placed over what it said for $9.99 that was $19.99. It literally doubled in price.
In 3 weeks.
Yes. And then I think it even went up another $5.
Yeah, I think it's $24.99 now.
Holy cow. So yeah.
Just and I mean, obviously that may have something to do with the fact that it's harder to get merchandise to Disney now. I mean, you could see that during the 50th. They were supposed to have all this great, awesome 50th anniversary merchandise that they kept pumping out on social and like, keep an eye out for this one. And, the iridescent collection is coming out, and none of that stuff showed up when it was supposed to.
Yes.
Iridescent.
Yes.
None of that stuff showed up when it was supposed to. So again, with the state of the world, obviously they have to charge more for their merchandise, but some of those things are increasing 50-60%, which is crazy. And now you have all those 50th anniversary like velour spirit outfits, and they're the pants for that are $100, and the spirit jersey is $129.
Yes.
Like a Spirit jersey costs $29.99.
And I feel like a year ago they were only $90, which was insane at $90.
Yeah.
They were $89. I swear they were.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Ridiculous.
It's funny. If you listened last week, and I know Brandon wasn't here, Rob talked about, he went there the third week of January. And what he was frustrated about, he was like, they didn't have anything. He said they hardly, and so I wonder if he just caught it kind of in between. But it was interesting to say, he was like, yeah, I didn't see a lot of 50th merch, like clothing wise, that was available. He was like, I was excited about getting shirts and all this kind of, he was like, they hardly had anything. And so I was surprised to hear that, because I figured that stuff they're just going to keep pumping in. But I also came up and think, like, I know you live there, so I'll let you speak to it more, but I was not expecting that once we crossed over like the first week of January and got through all of the holiday stuff, that the crowds would just be pumping like they have for literally 8 weeks straight now. Like you said, 19 days of Magic Kingdom being fully like full, being booked. And so like I have never seen that in the history of, at least from when I started paying attention to Disney. Like this couple of weeks that led up to basically mid-February, where if you're nerds like us, where Pop Warner football comes in and the cheering competitions come in, they kind of February. Other than the race weekend, like all of January and February was like golden time to come. Like if you followed any of the like when to come, like it was always green. If you do red, yellow, green, it was always green for like 5 or 6 of those 7 or 8 weeks. Yeah, just avoiding the the Pop Warner and the races and the cheerleaders. That's my cheerleader hands. But like it is insane, and it is, which is like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen this summer? Yeah, and spring break before that. I can't
even imagine. Spring break's coming up here. We're in March now, so it should be starting any time now. But I mean, we were just looking at trying to get away for a weekend to Disney and just stay on property. There is nothing available. I think Art of Animation was available, and it was $658 a night.
Holy
for
moly.
Art of Animation.
Now I'm sure that's for the
value resort.
That's got to be for the suite.
Yeah, I think the only thing was a suite. Right, but I mean, when you're talking about a Disney suite, it's not really a suite. It's just got a couple beds and a pull-out couch. But $658 a night, but there's no availability to stay on property anywhere. And I think I looked all the way through May. Wow. So it's been busy. You were talking about merchandise and how Rob was surprised that there's not a lot of stuff. We were there on last Wednesday or last Thursday or whenever that was. We walked through the Emporium. Very little 50th anniversary stuff. We went over to where they have the Vault collection. Yeah. They had like 5 shirts in there, and they're all the ones that were there on the first.
So nothing.
Not any new stuff. So I don't know if it's a supply chain issue or people just bought it all, but there really is not a lot of 50th anniversary stuff. Yeah. Which then says to me, like, how can they charge this much for it?
I bet it's a little bit of both, right? I bet it's some supply chain, and maybe they just weren't expecting this crowds. I mean, I know they're not complaining. Like, they're definitely not. As fun as it is to not be in the parks with that kind of crowd level, Disney's laughing all the way to the bank.
Exactly. All right. Yes.
Talk about some events. Talk about some events.
Oh, yes, some events. And it'll be interesting to see how these events change now that we're going back to more of a normal. But during this last COVID year, pandemic year, they did away with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and they did away with Mickey's Very Merriest Christmas party, and they turned them into after hours events. Now, if you've ever been to Disney, you know what the price tag looks like for an after hours event versus a not so scary or Christmas party. It's significantly more. I think a ticket was $200 to the Boo Bash, I think it was called. And then I don't remember what the Christmas one was called, but we're talking, if you want to attend those special events, now you're looking at $200 a ticket. Now you've already paid to come to Disney. Yeah. You've already paid to go to the park. You're 100 and whatever per day. And now they give you a $200 after hours event for 4 hours. So
per person,
those two parties, they released their first quarter earnings. I guarantee you those two parties got them half of those earnings. Just
that's a good point.
The ridiculous price increase.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, those parties used to be fun. They used to be, they were well attended, but they weren't ridiculously packed.
No.
And now they cost twice as much. And they are packed. So.
Yeah, I will say, so I've gone to a few of these. I've gone to 2 of them in Magic Kingdom and 1 of them at Animal Kingdom. And I, pre-pandemic, swore by them. It is like you're in the park with 50 people, so that's a bonus. I mean, even post-pandemic. But I think with our annual pass discount, I don't think I paid more than $89. And I want to say the regular price was like $99 or $109. So you're talking, there's like a $100 price increase. And I mean, it's cool, but I thought $90. I was like, people are going to think I'm stupid for paying this. But like, I knew and it included like a lot of the rolling cart snacks, right? So it was like all the beverages you wanted and all of anything that was frozen. So like the little Dole bar, the Mickey ice cream sandwich, and the Mickey bar. Yeah, Mickey bar. And then like Coke, Sprite, Diet Coke, popcorn. and waters. So like, and popcorn. Yes. Thank you. So that part that was kind of cool because Matthew went home. I know we told the story like 5 times. Like he went home with like 9 Diet Cokes in his backpack that night. I'm like, you carried that around all night? He was like, heck yeah, I'm getting my money's worth. But yeah, I thought at $89, I was like, that's a deal because like when you just think about Animal Kingdom, no wait for Flight of Passage. It was walk on. Like the only thing we waited for when we did it at Magic Kingdom was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and it was 10 minutes. Like you're never, ever going to wait for that ride for 10 minutes any day of the year. So it's a great advantage as far as like riding a lot of rides in a short amount of time. But I don't know that it's $200 advantage.
No.
And your family of 4, that's $800.
Yeah, I looked for Krista and I go to the Boo Bash, and it was going to cost us $533 for 2 people.
Way.
And it's nothing different than anything you just described. You got your same free snacks. There was cavalcades. There wasn't even a parade, and this year there was not even special Halloween fireworks. So you didn't really get anything else other than being able to stay in the park later. Right. Wear a costume and get some ice cream. $200.
Yeah.
So huge increase over the not so scary and very Merry Christmas parties. Hopefully this year they will be back. I would imagine we will be talking about when they do come back, they will cost more than what they cost when they were here.
Oh, in 20, for sure.
20 or 19 or whenever it was.
Hopefully not double the cost, but now it's like, how could they charge less?
Yeah, I mean, like they were all still sold out. People will still pay for it.
That's the problem. Yeah. Vote with your wallet, people. Okay, we're gonna close with a bittersweet one. I don't even know if it's bittersweet. It's probably
this one still touches me.
Yeah, this one's sad. But I do want to say I'm gonna close with a rant. Which is not typical of me, but I am gonna close with a rant.
It's not typical of you on the podcast. If you hang out with you in real life, super typical.
Does he know me, folks, or does he know me? Okay,
Dave,
and
all I have to say is motorcycles.
Yes. Let me talk to you about motorcycles. Nope, different show. Okay, the Magic Bands. Magic Bands are no longer free. I don't even know what they cost, but they are no longer free. And so I'm okay with that when the new one comes out because that one has like way cooler technology. But the ones that have existed forever, well, I mean, they have had a design change, but they're no longer. What are they? $10, $12, 15? And then they go up depending on
the cheap ones for like, I think $5 to $10. But I mean, if you want ones with designs or one with your hotel on it or Magic Kingdom, they're $30. They're $39. Yep. Like they're expensive. And you used to be able to pick those from, if you were staying on property, you used to be able to pick one of those as your pre-arrival gift. So you got a $40 Magic Band included. So now if your kids want cool Magic Bands or if your family does, and there's 4 of you, that's $120 to $160.
And I just saw friends that were there and they all had Magic Bands on. They were just the normal color ones, but still, like, that was an additional cost that this time last year was included. So yeah, that's kind of a bittersweet, sad, what have you. I don't know, but yeah. Now I'm excited to see when the new one comes out. Of course, if you have an Apple Watch that just raised my wrist. If you have an Apple Watch, I should get one. It's upstairs on the charger. That kind of now that finally they've enabled that to work with your Genie Plus as well as your ticket getting into the park every day. So that was kind of cool when they finally dropped that. But yeah, I mean, $10 to $40 is still cheaper than an Apple Watch. So don't buy an Apple Watch to go to Disney. But yeah, that's what a bummer. I mean, it's a way that for a family of 4, it's at least $40 more they could get out of you. And that's just if you want like gray, pink, blue, purple, orange, red, green, yellow. Like if you want any designs, like he said, they're cool. There are some, like I have fallen into the trap. We got a cool Haunted Mansion one. Gosh, they're all hanging up there. I forget. Oh, and we got the 45th anniversary one. I remember you and I got that. So yeah, we fall into
like
the trap.
Matching ones for the 50th. So I mean, we fell into it, but like before, we would have been able to select that because we were staying on property. We would have been able to all select a free included Magic Band. So
gone are the days.
Costs money.
Gone are the days.
Gone are the days.
Here's my rant. The whole reason that I wanted to do this episode is I don't have a problem with them raising prices. Semicolon. I have a problem with Disney raising prices. So I know that doesn't make any sense, but let me unpack it because I can only deliver it in a way that Dave can deliver it. Here's my problem. I understand inflation right now. I understand things are costing more. I understand it's costing Disney more. They are a business that is built for profit. Yes, we enjoy it, but if they don't profit, we don't get to enjoy it. So it's a wickedly weaved circle that we have to endure to be able to have all this magic. I do not think that Bob Chapek has ruined Walt Disney's vision of Disney theme parks. I'm probably in the minority, but I don't really care. Almost like show me a CEO that doesn't suck. So it's kind of like wasted breath for me. My problem is with these increases is everything is not at 100%. And that's what I'm frustrated about. So, buying it like we didn't like it hasn't really. I'm sure it's gone up because ticket prices have gone up. But like, let's just. I'm going to do two things, and I'll leave my rant at that. One, Park Hopper. Park Hopper right now is an absolute ripoff because if I wanted to walk into Magic Kingdom and ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and leave and go to Epcot, I should be able to do that. There is no reason that it should not be until 2 p.m. So meaning you have to pay for that cost that used to be if you wanted to go ride one attraction and then go to another park, you could, and now you can't. So I have a problem with that. That's my first kind of like what I'm bitter about. And two, all of these things that they promised for the 50th still aren't here. Now, I know that the rumor is, well, I guess it's not really a rumor, that it's kind of dropped that Memorial Day weekend, that Galaxy's Edge, that the, I don't know what that,
Galaxy.
Yes, thank you. The new ride at Epcot that's replacing Ellen's old ride, Energy Adventure. I know that's coming, but like, again, and I know that like COVID slowed this down, but we made kind of a snarky joke at the beginning of the show about it being the 4-year anniversary has passed for Tron. Walt Disney built Disneyland in like 11 months, like the whole theme park in the 50s. Do you see where I'm going with this? Now I know that there's safety that has to happen, and I'm sure they were waiting on parts, and like I get there's a whole and labor. I get there's all these things. 4 years. Come on, man. Not to steal the ESPN thing. Anyway, that's my little rant. Like the value and I mean, I could keep going. The crowd levers are insane, right? The value for the price increase isn't there, in my opinion. That's where I'm going to leave my
agree.
little silly rant.
I agree 100%. And that goes right along with my final thought for the show. Price increases happen everywhere.
Yeah.
You see them in your restaurants downtown in your city. You see them in parking fees. You see them in everything, grocery store, gas station. But you're still going to get some quality. Disney is still quality, but it's not 100% there. It's not as enjoyable as it used to be.
Yeah.
And that's, I used to wake up and say, man, I really want to go to Magic Kingdom today, or I really want to go to Animal Kingdom today. And just with the crowd levels and the Genie Plus and not all the restaurants being open, not all the shops being open, the shows not being open, it's just not a priority for me anymore right now. And I hope that changes. And, when all the stuff comes, I'm sure, Tron's going to be awesome. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be amazing. Like, it's all going to be great. It's just very hard to be patient. And I'm with you. That's where I have a problem with price increases. When you increase the price and you don't get anything extra for it.
And I don't even want extra. I just want 100%. And we talked, like you talked about, right? So, I know it's coming back. Phantasmic, not there. And a park that needs another crowd vacuum more than any other park, like, not there. Right. Yeah. And then you're talking here's another thing that I always find funny, Brandon. They always do these price increases in the winter when half the stuff is under refurbishment.
Exactly.
It's like, you're going to charge me more and you took away a whole bunch of stuff that you're working on. Now I get it. Like, you got to fix it. You got to paint it. You got to keep it looking nice. But it's like, dude, do that stuff in like May. You make the charge in like May when everything's running.
I saw they're extending the Everest renovation and for like another month. So, that thing might not be open till May.
Yeah, that's insane.
So in a park that has limited attractions,
right?
Any attraction that's at that park has lines that are hours long. There is an attraction that's the number one attraction in the park that will not be open for 5 months. And you're charging people more money to get into the park.
Insane. Now, I do want to say, not that we're like Disney protectors, but we do a podcast because we love Disney. That hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But as paying citizens of their prices, we have the right to say, hey, I understand why you're doing it, but right now I don't think the value is there for what you're charging. Will we still go? Yes, because that's just how we do. We're like a moth to a flame. But I will say it's just not like that is the number one reason why I'm not renewing my pass right now. I don't want to burn 4 or 5 months or 3 or 4 months to save 15% when I know that I'm not going at least until Memorial Day when that opens. At least I'm not going into because guess what? I know that we always go, but I know every trip is different, but I've already been to the 50th celebration. I've seen all the new shows. I want to experience new attractions, and I know some are coming. So I'm going to hold off. Man, I feel like a gripey, whiny old man, which is me in real life, right, Brandon?
That's right.
Let me tell you about motorcycles.
You've all finally met Dave in real life. He's all happy and joyful and gleeful on this podcast. But this is Dave. You've met Dave.
Spend a week with him. You won't like him anymore.
That's right.
Oh, good show, man. I felt like we beat this dead horse over and over. Yeah. Hey, things cost more. Get used to it.
Things cost more. There you go. And the last couple shows have kind of been like our negative side of Disney. And we don't really like to be super negative about Disney. We don't really like to talk negatively about Disney, but we think it's important that you guys hear this stuff. Cause if you've never been there, you never experienced Disney pre-pandemic time, then you might not know this stuff. So it's just for you guys who may be going out to Disney or traveling to the world here in the next couple months. It's just good stuff to know.
Money doesn't grow on trees, and we think you should know where your money's going. And it's going less further these days. Less
further. Good
English is my favorite.
English. Yes.
Hey, this good show was great. Good show. Good. So we should end it here.
Let's end it here. And just want to let you guys know that we are going to be taking a break next week.
Just for a week.
So Just for a week. So if you jump on next Friday and we're not there, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't quit. I know it may have sounded like we were done with Disney after this episode, but we are not. But we're going to get together. We're going to brainstorm some great ideas for some new shows for our new season. So look for us in 2 weeks. We will be back with some good stuff.
We'll be back with some positive news, some positive Disney stuff.
Positive Disney stuff. Hopefully we can get some great guests for you to join us and have a lot of fun.
I love it. Brandon, I have missed your face. It was
I
good
missed
to
your
see
face.
You
yeah, it feels like I haven't seen you in like a month.
I know. It's only been like 2 weeks or 14 days.
2 weeks.
That's same
right.
thing. Oh my God. I'm going to stop talking. Okay, bicycle!
Bye, people.